Hello everyone, welcome to Tea and Banter with me. It's me, Mary Elizabeth. As you can see behind me, it is a beautiful rainy day, which I usually will sit outside and have tea and read. But today, I'm biting the bullet. I have just a small little space that I call my own in the house. And right now, it's a disaster. And every time I go in there now, it's like hearing crickets because I like a clean, organized space and I need to get that done. So I'm gonna tackle it. I'm gonna show you a couple of pictures of it before I do anything. And then I will show you some progress and we'll go from there. I do need to get some reading done to meet, hopefully, some of my January goals, but we'll see. So yeah, so a couple of, oh, I'm sorry, that was my hand. A couple of pictures first, and then hopefully you'll see some progress and we'll talk more. Okay, progress is being made as we speak. You see I still have a pile there. I need to do something with the top here, I think. Straighten that out. I do have some of my yarn straightened out, as you can see. I've decided to put them in buckets and only keep out so much yarn, ones that I'm going to be working on. And then, of course, my desk is still a mess. And I have all this down here to still figure out what to do with. That's my cat's bed. She has a couple of them in here because she stays mostly in here with me. But so I will check back in with you when I think I'm as good as it's gonna get for now. Hello everyone, we're back. We're taking a little break from working on my little craft room and we're having a tea party. I made a breakfast casserole, chicken salad sandwiches, brown sugar cinnamon muffins, and for dessert, just a little M&Ms, Valentine M&Ms, some Hershey Kisses, and a Belgian hot chocolate. Yes, I got a little lazy and didn't bake cupcakes or anything, but I did bake the muffins, made the sandwiches, and did the breakfast casserole. And we're also having Earl Grey tea from Tea Camilla for our tea. And then we're also going to be working on our reading journals, right, Felicia? You have yours?
I have mine and I have my book.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of that before we hopefully finish my space for now. For now, it's not complete.
Well, of course, 6 months, I'll be fine.
All right, we're not gonna go there. I'm hungry. We're gonna have a little food and we will be back. Okay, friends, full disclosure, I'm going to show you my reading journal of what I've done so far for January. I have done a previous video with kind of the start of my setup, so I won't go through the details of my goals and things like that, because I have another video for that you're more than welcome to see. But I did make a mistake. I should have on this page done a page for the month of January, like just designed it and said January, and then did my index, and then did my first book, which again I didn't do, and I started to put down my series tracker. So there was several mistakes, so I just left it this way and continued on in January. But as far as the series tracker, I did not put all my series in here. I stated previously that I think I will do a different journal for just my series, but based on what I've put in here, the good news is I have completed 5 different books to 4 or 5 series. So I read Elementary. She read, that's the Sherlock Holmes Bookshop Mystery. I read the first book there. I also read Caution to the Wind by Gianna Darling, and I believe that's the, oh, don't quote me, 6th or 7th book in that series. And then I read 2 of the Dark Side series. I read The 4 Psychos and The 3 Trials. So that's 2, 3, 4. I thought I had one more. Did I not? Maybe it was just 4. I thought it was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yes. How could I forget? Time Reaping in Deadwood. I did read that one too. So good news is that I've read 5 books towards series in the month of January. So I'm happy about that. I already reviewed Caution to the Wind in a previous video on that one. So I did Time Reaping in Deadwood Elementary. She read Timewood and Elementary, both I gave 4 stars to. Excellent books. In Time Reaping in Deadwood, this is a highly supernatural book with demons, imps, creatures, timekeeping, all of that. So if you're into that paranormal, this is a great series to read. There is romance in there, but all the characters are great individual, great personalities, their own strengths and weaknesses, and but my favorite is Harvey, who is an older gentleman, and he's very free-spirited. And I did include one of his quotes here, not one of his best, but he often makes fun of the main character and refers to her as different animals. And one of the quotes says, your stud was pawing the ground and rearing to christen the yak. And that was about Violet's boyfriend and her. And so she was complaining that he always refers to her as an animal, and a yak has very long hair and big bodied or whatever. And his response was, well, those are mighty fine qualities and traits. And he just is very funny and one of my favorite characters. So again, if you like those supernatural elements, I highly suggest you give the Deadwood series a try by Ann Charles. Elementary, she read. If you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, I believe you will love this mystery series. This is about a woman, Gemma Doyle, who runs the Sherlock Holmes Emporium bookshop. She half owns it with her uncle, and then attached to that is the Mrs. Hudson tea shop, which she half owns with her friend Jane. And of course there is a murder and a mystery around a special edition Sherlock Holmes book, and Gemma becomes the prime suspect. So of course she has to investigate. And so the way I do this is I kind of write a little something about the book, but not a lot, because I don't want to give spoilers away to anyone. But I do kind of write down, my own thoughts and things. So I love Sherlock Holmes. I think I love almost every edition of Sherlock Holmes, except for the Robert Downey Jr. ones. I don't like those, but all the other ones I do like. But this series, so this is why I love this series. The mystery I wrote down has a lot of twists, turns, good mystery. The side characters are great. But interestingly, Gemma, I have a hard time liking her, and I don't know why, because first of all, she does not like Sherlock Holmes, but she is exactly like Sherlock Holmes. Now, I adore Sherlock Holmes, so I don't know why I'm having a hard time liking her, but I'm hoping she will grow on me as the series continues. So I do plan on continuing it. And there, of course, there is Moriarty the cat, and he lives in the bookshop. So that is good. Yeah, and I gave this 4 stars as well. So I see this as a series I will continue. Then The Dark Side, I read book 1 and 2. So this is about 4 guys who are Grim Reapers and possibly other. Whether they're the 4 horsemen or something else, they don't know, we don't know. And then there's a ghost girl. She has no name, so we refer to her as No Name. We're assuming she's a ghost. And she's been invisible, living with these 4 guys for 5 years. She doesn't know where she came from. She doesn't know how she got there. And so that's kind of the first book where they finally end up getting to see her. And she has been observing them through everything and is able to give them critiques, even though they don't ask for it. She is witty. She has had me laughing through both books. Phenomenal. This writer really is creative. She's original, and these characters, No Name Girl is highly funny. Yeah, and this is another one where it deals with demons and creatures and dealing with hell and Lucifer. So I believe there may be some angels in there. I haven't come across that yet, but it's kind of like a good and evil. And she actually, majority of the time, saves the 4 Reapers from death or other things. So it's very interesting. And I am enjoying it immensely. And also I am listening to it on audio, and forget the name. I think her name is Holly Jackson. But she is doing a phenomenal job narrating this. So if you wanted to listen to it, I would highly recommend it. So that's as far as I've gotten. Now, the other sad news is when I did my index, it was to help me stay on track to read what I'm supposed to read. I did not do that because I got hooked on The Dark Side, which wasn't on my list. So I read those 2 books. So really all I have is 1, 2, 3, 4. And I may have 5 out of the 10. So what I think I'll do is any I didn't finish, I'll put a CO for carry over into February to do that, because sometimes that just happens and you don't end up reading what you planned. But I do want to get better at that. So it's a work in progress, and we'll go from there. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and I will get back to showing you hopefully the completed room that we cleaned up a little bit, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, friends, this is kind of the final walkthrough. I do eventually want to get a couple of new chairs, but as you can see, I love this rack with the teacups. I do have plenty more teacups to add to this. Unfortunately, the hooks are a little too small for cups that have a wider or thicker handle, so I need to get more bigger hooks. And so just kind of giving you where I'm at in terms of as you can see, I do love Ophelia Talks. Those are 3 blankets I plan on making this year. I do have a couple of blankets I need to complete. This is going to be a cute little sign that I hang up. I just have to find good lettering for it. So not too bad. Again, there's some new chairs I would like to get to complete it, but I'll be happy with this. Those are my lights. Can't really see them, even though they are on. Until then, I am happy with this. So there you go. And nothing's on the floor. I cleaned it all up. So we are in pretty good shape. I'm kind of happy with it. Okay, everyone. We are at the end of this little vlog. I hope you enjoyed the little snippets of my space and cleaning it up a little bit. Our little tea party and my reading journal with all its errors and maybe some information about a book you might like to try. If you have a reading journal yourself and would like to recommend books or show pictures, please feel free to do that in the comments. And just a reminder, next week is January wrap-up, so next week's video will be wrapping up what I have read in January and also my plan for February, which will probably also include carryover, unfortunately. But I'm still happy with 5 books addressed to my series. So, and you did not really show your reading journal. I think there's a reason for that. And what's the reason for that?
I am pretty much all my books are going to February.
So,
Because, like I said, work is hectic. I've had to train a few people. It's been a rough week. So, I'm hoping now that one of them is actually going to 3rd shift because that's what they were trained for, and the other one's doing okay. I can finish reading the 5th Percy Jackson and start stalking Jack the Ripper, and I'm also going to annotate it, so I'm excited about that.
which
And
I think
nervous.
is really interesting. I would never have thought to annotate Stalking Jack the Ripper, but might be really good.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, and my goal this month was to annotate Dorian Gray, which I have a week. I don't know if that's what I will tackle next or if that will be one I carry over to February.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I still think no matter what, having the reading journal and the monthly plan is still helpful because if nothing else, I did tackle some of my series and it kind of gave me, read from my shelves kind of thing. However, I must say I do now have a whole nother list of books I want. So the problem doesn't go away, but I'm not purchasing until I make a good dent in on my shelves. But the list is there. And also I'm thinking of doing the Book Buddy again. Whether I do it differently yet again remains to be seen. We shall see. I have a few ideas floating around in my head, so keep you updated on that one. Yeah, because I've seen a couple of people do a couple of things that we could apply to the buddy read, but we'll see. We'll see. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. We will be back with more next week. Can't get rid of me that easily, I guess. And until next time, I hope that you are all safe and I hope you're all loved. Bye.
Bye.